Well, hi everyone. Welcome to a brand new week. It's Sonkran week, and Songkran's on Thursday, but I guarantee that officers around Thailand are going to be much quieter today, and that if you go on any of the roads heading out of Bangkok, they'll be quieter today. I'm absolutely sure. So it's Sonkran week, and of course the madness will really rev up on Thursday and then continue throughout the weekend. Next Sunday would be the day when people are heading back to work, and that's also going to be mayhem on the roads. This whole period is called the 7 Days of Danger on Thai roads, for good reason. It's a very dangerous time of the year to be on Thai roads. More people die during the 7 days around Sonkran than any other time of the year. Now, I've got a lot of quite varied news to cover this morning, and we'll start with this one from the Mail Online. Now, this is one of the original stories. It has been widely reported here in Thai media, but we'll go with this story for its reporting. Brit is arrested in human trafficking raid at Flirt Bar in seedy Thai resort of Pattaya as dozens of women are loaded into police truck. Well, a headline like that does nothing to enhance the reputation of Pattaya and trying to tone down a lot of its red light district reputation. The story says that a British national and a Thai woman have been arrested on suspicion of human trafficking. Cops raided the Flirt Bar on the area's notorious Soi 6 Road, packed with dozens of sex bars, next to the beach at around 9 p.m. on April the 5th. Footage from the raid shows dozens of young women being frog-marched into a police truck, taken to the local police station to be questioned. Why it's taken 3 or 4 days for this story to appear in the media, I'm not exactly sure, but that's the situation. Englishman William Rees and a local Thai woman were detained by police chiefs. The Brit was seen being led into the police station in what appeared to be handcuffs. Officers say the arrest warrants had been issued against the British man on April the 4th for allegedly conspiring to commit human trafficking. The charges relate to young women being ferried from poverty-stricken regions in the rural northeast of the country to serve tourists in the sex industry, where they're paid around 1,500 baht for sex. And the accused were remanded in police custody as they await further legal proceedings. And a bit further down there, the bar is believed to be owned by Nightwish Group, which is believed to be run by a British expat. And people living in Pattaya are well aware of the Nightwish Group and the bars that they own. That story covered in the Mail Online and in Thai media around the weekend. Now, the next story is a little bit more lighthearted, and it's from Coconuts Bangkok. I briefly mentioned this at the very, very end of Saturday's program as I was sort of rushing to finish, but I thought it was, well, humorous enough to share with you. And it says that find and share Bangkok's best places to poop with Key. Explore a city, pin a toilet, be a hero. That's the pitch that greets users who download Key, and Key helps you crowdsource a toilet destination by providing a Google Maps-like interface where cutesy rainbow-coloured poop pins mark public toilets available for use. To pin a toilet, you click on the poop icon, then tap on the map where a toilet is located. Toilet trackers can and should note details such as the floor the toilets are located and if there's any cost. And the story from coconuts.co goes on to say that gone are the days of walking into a bar or restaurant to meekly ask permission. Now guided by our helpful mutual pooping experiences, we stride and squat together into a brighter future. Nicely done there by coconuts.co with a degree of humour. And there was a time, maybe 20 years ago, when you came to Thailand, if you were out of the main cities or main tourist areas, finding a toilet that you were prepared to drop your pants was a little bit of an effort. Certainly things have really improved, and I think this is actually quite a good idea. So if you're looking for a place to do some number ones or number twos, then Key is a new app available at an app store near you. Move on to our next story now, and more details released on fatal minivan accidents in Chonburi that killed 8 people. This story covered by the PattayaNews.com. And 4 minivan passengers passed away immediately. Another 4 reportedly died later in hospital when their vehicle rear-ended a trailer, it was a trailer truck, while travelling from Chonburi to Chonburi for a work permit extension. It happened at 5:30 a.m. on Saturday. It happened on Highway 7 inbound to Pattaya in the Nongkang Chok sub-district. Apparently there were 19 people riding on the same minivan, and 3 of the deceased were female. One of them was pregnant. The male casualty was a 55-year-old driver of the minivan. All victims were Cambodian and Burmese workers. The van had been completely full. Some critics on social media asking why so many people were riding in the same van. I'm thinking that 19 people is a little bit of an overload. Of course, some of these vans are larger or smaller, but 19 people in that van seems too many. The accident occurred when the minivan they were riding in suddenly rear-ended a trailer at dawn. The Thai trailer driver, a 50-year-old, who was uninjured, told social media that he was trying to climb up a hill with his heavily loaded vehicle when the minivan rear-ended him. And he suspected the driver might have fallen asleep at the wheel. And again, the quality of these vans, the quality of the drivers, and the work practices that they work under called into question. 8 people dead in that fatal incident over the weekend. A brand new week here on TNT. Thank you for those people that joined in on Saturday. I'm thinking of trying to come up with a different format for Saturday. I really enjoy the loyalty and the people that join in each week, but I'm trying to use the Saturday program to interact with more people, and I don't really know what I need to do, but I'm going to try to do something different in the next few weeks. I don't even know what that is yet, but you'll be the first to know. And thanks for the great response to Grumpy Old Men yesterday. We go to our next story now, and well, this is from the Bangkok Post. Chinese Christians arrive in US after Thai detention. This is the group of Chinese Christians who have been touring the area somewhat, firstly South Korea and then to Thailand, seeking some sort of asylum. Let's look at the story, and it says that more than 60 self-exiled Chinese Christians who were detained for overstaying their visas in Thailand have arrived in the United States, where they'll seek permanent asylum in Texas. Texans well known for their hospitality, but not necessarily to asylum seekers. And the asylum seekers arrived at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport on Friday night with plans to resettle in Tyler, 150 kilometres southeast of Dallas. And the president of China Aid, a Texas-based Christian human rights organisation, confirmed their arrival in a text message, and he thanked Thai and US officials for expediting the case of the asylum seekers. And China Aid welcomes the landing of the persecuted Chinese Mayflower Church to freedom in America and welcome to Texas. He said, "We will not rest until religious freedom is fully realised in China." The 63 members of the Shenzhen Holy Reformed Church, 32 adults and 31 children, have been seeking to live outside of China for the past 3 years. They travelled first to Jeju Island in South Korea and then to Thailand in September last year. And of course, they were finally rounded up last week by immigration officials in Pattaya. And it looks like they've done a good job to get them to the United States, where they'll be able to seek asylum formally. And good luck to those Chinese people seeking asylum for religious freedom. Go to our next story now, and this is reported by Thai PBS World. Chuwit resumes solo campaign against Bhumjaithai cannabis policy. Chuwit, often referred to as a former MP and soapy massage king, and it says the self-styled whistleblower Chuwit has resumed his campaign against the Bhumjaithai party's cannabis policy after the civil court on Friday lifted the injunction barring him from such campaigning. Now, he has become very well known over the past 6 months, whistleblowing on anything from Chinese people overstaying visas, paying immigration officials, the immigration officials themselves, police, and there are now hundreds of Thai officials in custody, some of them still awaiting trial, about incidents that have been brought up by Chuwit. So he's certainly made a name for himself over the past 6 months. And the civil court said that Chuwit's criticism and comments about the Bhumjaithai party's cannabis policy concern the positive and negatives of cannabis use and are useful for the public, they say. In responding to the court's ruling, Chuwit posted on his Facebook page saying that it represents a victory for the people. He also thanked the court for lifting the injunction. He says he'll continue his campaign, and he claimed that the Bhumjaithai party's policy to decriminalise cannabis and hemp has led to the growth of over 3,000 shops selling weed in Bangkok alone. That's an astonishing number, given that a lot of those would be in the more populous and tourist areas of Bangkok, with some of them open around the clock, unlike shops which sell alcohol, which are only open during specific times of the day. This is one of the problems, of course, that the whole situation is seemingly unregulated. And despite the intentions of the Bhumjaithai party to push forward a cannabis bill, it was voted down 6 times. And this issue is just going to keep on bubbling along, deregulated, until the parliament can sit down, hammer out some sort of cannabis policy, and then pass that in the next parliament. Moving on to our next story, Myanmar coup. Thousands of Burmese flee to Thailand after intense fighting. This story's lead reporter, Jonathan Head, the Southeast Asian correspondent for the BBC, and it says that some 10,000 Burmese people have fled to Thailand to escape fierce fighting between the military and units of a powerful ethnic armed group since Wednesday. And they're fleeing from Chuwit. I'm sure I've got that wrong, and apologies to any Burmese people for my complete mispronunciation, but it's controlled by pro-military militia and home to Chinese-owned casinos. There's a lot of Chinese-owned casinos around Myanmar, Laos and Cambodia, very close to the Thai border. I suppose for good reason. They can't open a casino in Thailand, but they can open one just over the border. And this is one of the largest cross-border movements of people since a military coup 2 years ago, says the story. And we can see where Chuwit is, about 200 kilometres from the Thai border. So at least we know where it is now. And the BBC story goes on, 2 years on, the military government's failed to impose its authority on large areas of the country. It's battling established ethnic army groups in border areas that have been at war with the military for decades and recently formed the anti-coup militias that call themselves the People Defence Forces. And many thousands of people have been killed. Some 1.4 million have been displaced since the coup. Nearly 1/3 of the country's population is in need of aid, according to the United Nations. It's certainly an enormous humanitarian crisis happening next door to Thailand, and very interesting that it's seldom brought up during election campaigns, and it's one of those things politicians in Thailand just choose not to speak about. So Thai PBS asked the question, would the next government be kinder to migrants and refugees? Thai PBS World is paid for by the Thai government and, of course, reported in English. And the story says that political parties campaigning for the general election should spell out their policies on migrants and refugees because of its significance for Thailand's stature on the international stage, according to experts who were speaking at a forum. The forum was called Migrant Working Group, and it says that more than 3 million migrant workers, mostly from neighbouring countries, Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar, live and work in Thailand. And as of March 2023, 2.7 million of them are registered as legal workers, but experts estimate that 1.5 to 2 million are unregistered workers. And then there's another huge number of irregular migrants that are refugees and asylum seekers who have been living in camps and detention centres without proper care for years. And Thailand has sheltered more than 90,000 refugees from Myanmar in border provinces since the middle of the 1980s. Now, I can suggest to you that that number's more like 500,000. I've been to these refugee camps probably about 15 years ago, and it was just one huge humanitarian calamity at the time. And I'm not aware that the situation has improved much. And they also estimate that there's around 5,000 urban refugees from 40 countries and another 480,000 stateless persons, according to the UNHCR. That's quite a long story by Thai PBS. I just went through some of the main points, but if you'd like to read it, I'll put a link in the description of this video because it is painting a fairly grim picture about a calamity happening right on the borders of Thailand and not helped by the current situation in Myanmar. You're watching TNT. So this is the headquarters of 5 Star Marine, our sponsors on TNT, and as you can see, most of the boats have already gone for the day as people head out for a fine time on the islands off Phuket. If you're interested in going on a private tour, then check out the link. I mean, they've even got a cafe here when you come back and you can have a coffee. There's a link in the description in this video. So what are you doing for Sonkran? Probably a good time to stay off the roads, but I know a lot of people heading to tourist areas to enjoy the celebrations. So tell us in the comment section what you're getting up to. I'm fairly sure that many of you will be sitting tight and just enjoying some time at home. Now, another international story, this one covered by the BBC as well, and it reports that China simulates hitting key targets on Taiwan. China's simulated precision strikes against key targets on Taiwan and its surrounding waters during a second day of military drills. This happened over the weekend. The drills, which Beijing is calling a stern warning to the self-governing island, are a response to Taiwan's president visiting the US last week as the Chinese military simulated an encirclement of the island. The US urged China to show restraint. Taiwan said about 70 Chinese aircraft flew around the island on Sunday, and 11 Chinese ships were also spotted. And on Saturday, Taiwan said that 45 warplanes either crossed the Taiwan Strait median line, the unofficial dividing line between Taiwanese and Chinese territory, or flew into the southwestern part of Thailand's Air Defence Identification Zone. And as just a bit of background, the BBC story says that the US severed diplomatic ties with Taipei in favour of Beijing in 1979, but it's bound by laws to provide Taiwan with the means to defend itself. And the US President Joe Biden has said on several occasions that the US would intervene if China attacked the island, but US messaging has been murky. Well, certainly murky on both sides, and a period of instability for the Asian region at the moment as this sabre-rattling continues. Heading to a story now by the Straits Times, Singapore's biggest newspaper. Thai army apologises to mother forced to take comatose son to conscription site to prove he's unfit. It's conscription season. They have this every year where young Thai men have to front up and select those balls, the red and the black balls, out of the hat to see if they have to go into conscription. And the story says that the Third Army of Thailand has apologised to the mother of a comatose young man after she was forced to take him by ambulance to a military conscription site in Lampun province to prove he's unable to enlist as a soldier. Disturbing photos and videos of the man, who's kept alive by oxygen and feeding tubes, caused an uproar on social media and heated criticism of the Third Army. And a deputy spokesman for the Third Army apologised on Sunday to the mother and her son. He promised that no such incident would happen again. Parents of bedridden, comatose or severely ill young men will now be permitted to inform the Army so they can send a group of conscription screeners to their homes or to hospitals to approve conscription exemptions. That wasn't the situation before is astounding. And Mr. Tanakrit apparently was a former actor. His motorbike was hit by a vehicle whose driver had been drinking. Mr. Tanakrit has severe brain and skull injuries. So let's hope there's a little bit more compassion from the Army in the future. But that about does it for today for TNT. Thank you very much for watching. If you get an opportunity to subscribe to the channel, I'd be very grateful. It's going to be an interesting week. I'm not sure how many of the journalists are going to be off on holiday or what we're going to have to talk about, but we'll know as the week unfolds. But hopefully you have a fantastic Monday. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again.